We are here today going to be talking about some new information that's out there. It's too funny. We have got someone from Starbucks where they have come out and said new words about how to increase productivity. The CEO there always is good for some uplifting, spirited information with the group. We're gonna cover that real quick. I've got some other stuff about the best and worst states for work today. Has to do for places where people want to work at, and then I was going to look into this, and I figured, hey, I'll just throw it on the stream since we're going to do this. Um, they've got some new prompts that I found on Forbes for marketing emails, and it's one of the things that I work with my clients where we're constantly saying, hey, how can we better utilize AI? And I was like, well, hey, let me take a look at some of these marketing emails and prompts that I can use. Now, they want to use Chat GPT. I use Grok over on X, but again, I think we're going to have similar results. So let's get into it here. So again, for those that don't know, I am a business coach that works out of West Michigan around the country, and I hope to earn your subscription today. So when I come live here, almost every single day, what I'm doing is I'm sharing information that I'm sharing with my clients. And this is an example of something that I do share with my clients here. And what that is going to be here, Starbucks CEO tells employees to work harder after layoffs. So, hey everyone, we've laid off a bunch of folks, so we need you to work harder now. That's what the CEO's message is. Now, this isn't an unheard of message, right? We gotta do more with less. That was the rallying cry that I had during most of my formative years in organizations, where they constantly were cutting back on things and said, hey, we're gonna do more with less. And then more with less, until eventually it was less with what we had, and then it broke people. So I don't think Starbucks is there yet. They're relatively recent to the number of cuts that they had, and they're going to find that breaking point for folks. And I think for a lot of baristas, we're pretty darn close at this point. But I don't know if this is actually meant at the baristas or not. I think a lot of this, it has to do with their support staff, the people that are in the non-revenue generating positions in your overhead space. I think what Brian is really getting after, Brian Nickel, the CEO, is really saying, again, it's when he's telling folks they need to work harder, it's not necessarily aimed at the baristas. It's at the folks that he has working in the support section. So let's take a look at this here. Again, as always, links are going to be in the description. So let's see what we got here. This is from QZ.com. Although this, people exit a Starbucks in New York City. I love the thing here. Look at, he's actually entering it. But anyways, I digress. The Starbucks CEO, Brian Nickel, wants corporate employees to work harder and take accountability. Sorry, I got a note from, I had a note from a client real quick there. Want to take accountability for the coffee giant's financial health. Yeah, as you would want, right? That's how everybody gets paid, as long as the stuff is going well. Speaking to staff in Seattle in his first address since announcing layoffs last month, Nickel pointed out that inefficiencies in the company's operations and decision-making process have contributed to recent struggles. We're not effective, he said. There's a large number of businesses that are going through the same thing. Now, the layoffs, he explained, were necessary to address these issues. As the Wall Street Journal first reported, a Starbucks spokesperson later confirmed the details in a response request comment from Quartz. All right. Nickel's tough love approach isn't new for Starbucks staff. In October, we've covered this too. In October, employees were told they must work at least three days a week in the office or leave. You have to be in the office 3 days. Now, again, for a lot of folks, like, they've been working remotely for a long time and they feel they've been getting the work done. However, the leadership and the bosses are saying, hey, it's not good enough. And the way that they want to help people perform better, the phrase, it's their words, is we need you in the office so we can, again, help you execute better at a higher rate. Now, with 4 consecutive quarters of declining sales, which is true, they have had declining sales, Starbucks is continuing to navigate a big fix. I love that, big fix. But the company's ability to capture market share has been further hampered by inflation, which has made consumers more cautious about their spending. Yeah, man, there's some Starbucks drinks, they cost north of $10. They're like $12 for some of the drinks for your little coffee milkshakes you get in the morning. That is, I mean, it's nuts. I mean, again, cup of coffee is $3 right now. That is astronomically high from 4 years ago, but it is what it is with inflation. All right. But people are definitely feeling it. You know, I had some folks we were talking about in another video. It hasn't affected, like, the inflation hasn't affected me at the grocery store. Yeah, I've traded down a few things, but I'm still buying eggs. Still buying eggs. Am I going to Starbucks though? I know I buy tea and have tea, make my tea ahead of time now instead of picking up, a mint tea there or whatever. And a lot of people are doing the same. So it's definitely out there. Now, as part of his plan to restore the brand's momentum and return to its roots, Nickel has unveiled an extensive Back to Starbucks, which we did cover. And here's an overview of what they did though. The sweeping operational shifts include making fresh brewed coffee in under 4 minutes. All right. Cutting the menu by 30%, which they did. They just nixed 13 things, but it's been 30%. And a lot of the stuff they had on there was just silly stuff. There were inventory items that just sat up there and didn't make any money. By the time that you sold them, you were actually net backwards by the holding costs. It's pretty bad. And bringing back condiment bars. The fact that they trust me to put my sugar in my coffee again. Thank you, Starbucks. It's so great. And this is the one that caught me off guard. I didn't know this piece right here. Limiting mobile orders to 12 items per customer. What in the world are you calling in on your mobile order? I mean, I know they're for offices and I get all that. I get that piece, but limiting to still 12 items per customer. My God, that is ridiculous. Okay. That's stuff you've got to do a call ahead order for that, not a mobile order. Anyways, other initiatives include reintroducing ceramic mugs, ramping up TV ads, hiring more baristas, and recently Starbucks also cut 13 drinks, as we were talking about here. Now, again, the idea here is overarchingly not all of Nickel's changes have been well received, and we're going to get back into some other the next articles here in a second, but that's where I wanted to be able to kind of close the piece on that one here, is that almost none of his changes have been well received. But that's why he was hired in. I've been critical of some of his stuff and the execution that he's done, but I'm also not in the seat. I don't see the same numbers and metrics that he has. I mean, he's already been paid almost $100 million for his work and to meet the metrics that the board put out for him. So he got paid. He did his part. Now he's going through and again continuing to push for more efficiencies and have people more effective. And no one likes it, but it comes back to that, folks. When you're an employee and you have settled into your way for a while, and then the new boss comes in and makes changes, who does like that? Seriously, who gets excited when the new boss comes in and says, "Hey, I know you've been doing this for a while. I need you to do it like this. I need you to do it faster. I need you to do it better." No one's excited about that. So we shouldn't be surprised that there are folks that are upset about that. Is what it is. That being said, let's get into the next spot here. This was one that I saw here because I had a client reach out. And this is from Mental Flossing, and links in the description here. Be sure to check that out. I had a client that was asking about workplace culture this week. It's been near the top of the list on a couple of them, but this one specifically reached out. I was like, "Yo, Ryan," and that's actually how it went. "Yo, Ryan, how do I know I'm in a place with where's the standard for workplace culture? How do I even gauge that?" Because as I talk, and you hear me on this channel quite a bit, it's called work for a reason, not fun. Work kind of sucks. It's a thing, right? We all got to do, because we got to feed our families, got to have a roof over our head. It's just a thing. Now, preferably, you'd like to have a place and work that you enjoy to be able to go in, but at the end of the day, it's still work, right? So what we're talking about here is, what does it mean for workplace culture? What are the places that are healthy and how to get that? So in a lot of states and a lot of cities, municipalities, whatever, mostly in a lot of the larger states, you're going to have best places to work. And it's a company that exists to take surveys of your organization, do all sorts of questions, figure out, and then to give feedback back to you as the ownership group of where you sit in this, in the 1 through 5, are you awesome, or 1 through 6 is preferably, so that way there's no middle ground. You can't say just average. It's got to be either kind of sucks or it's kind of good, right? And then they rank you with other businesses in the state. to whether or not you are going to be in the best places to work category and listed on there. And you get a cool little badge that you can put on your hiring, right? You'll see that a lot. But some states don't have that. Michigan is one of those. It doesn't exist. So best places to work, just putting that out there. If you want to sponsor me, I will get you in touch with a whole bunch of businesses that would love your business. But anyways, I went and found this. Mental flaws, best and worst states for workplace culture mapped. And again, they can take a look and they've got them here. And we'll just take a look at it, and we're going to look at, you can kind of see the color coding here. Green is good. Orange is the not so good. And when you're looking at this, we're going to go over what it means to be good workplace culture. So it's not, so we can kind of define what that means. That's one of the best practices that I have in a lot of places is that, okay, cool. We think we know what best practices mean, but what's it mean? Like, what's the definition? What's a good culture? All right. So, sorry, we think we know what best workplace culture means. What's the definition? Not best practices. Sorry, got a little twisted there. So let's see here. So now you can tell. All right, I don't mean to be laughing at this, but you can tell the timing on this was prior to Elon Musk and Doge coming around, because the best place for workplace culture in 2025, the District of Columbia is number one. I have a feeling that's probably not as high anymore. I think it's probably dropped off a bit as Doge and President Trump have been firing everyone from, I don't mean to laugh about that. It's just more the irony. All right. The next piece is going to be New York. So take a look at where these spots are. So best states to work in are going to be District of Columbia, right? It's the center of government, lots of high paying jobs, and the lifestyle there is what it is. New York, set lots of, it's a high standard of living. There's a lot of competition, so businesses have to be, and we're going to look at what that means here, but the businesses have to offer a lot because there's a lot of competition for the work. Illinois, so that means Chicago, same thing. New Jersey, which is just across the, honestly, just across the bridge from New York, so you're going to see very similar things there. Massachusetts, so you got Boston, Connecticut, it's all the hedge fund folks are there, insurance industry. Seattle, LA, and then you get into Ohio and Maryland and other spots there. So it makes sense in the first bits. It's where you have the places where you see a lot of competition for employees, you typically see are also the places that are the best place to work, right? Because the businesses they can offer money, but they have to also offer the environment that people want to work in. So let's look at the worst states they have here. This also makes sense here. So we got Idaho, Wyoming, which is one of the least populated states, Montana, then Nevada, New Mexico, Arizona, and you move down the list here. Texas, is what it is there. But what I put out there, folks, is that in those states, where else are you going to go to work? For a lot of places. And, it's all about managing expectations with yourself, with your teams, and just as an employee, where else are you going to go work? When you're looking at these things that, the businesses, they know if you want to live here and you want to be employed, there's no other place to work. So they don't need to offer, many business. Now, to be clear, most business owners that I work with, and the business owners that I work with exclusively, want to provide a great place for their folks to work. They're not trying to be like slumlords or anything like that at the workplace. They're the ones that I work with. And I wouldn't work with anyone that's simply just trying to nickel and dime their folks at the bare minimum and treat them as second-class citizens. Not what I have. However, when you are looking at, there's limited dollars. That's flyover country, folks. There's limited dollars, limited businesses that are there. So in this case, this is one of the spots where capital, as in the owners, they have the leverage, and they don't have to negotiate as many perks as they would in those other states. So that's what they're looking at. So that's what this means here. So let's see here. Okay, so here's the definition. According to the professional training website People Thriver, workplace culture refers to an organization's values, attitudes, belief, and priorities that guides employees' behaviors. Several factors contribute to morale-boosting atmosphere. Some states are better at fostering such an environment. So here's the key factors. They use 24 metrics. Data analysis assigned a weighted composite score to each state using 24 metrics that indicated workplace culture. Key factors included average salary, average number of paid holidays, and quit rate, right? Your turnover. Researchers then ranked each state's score accordingly, with the highest score reflecting the most positive workplace environment. You'll notice what it is. This is what I love about this. How much money making, and then how often are you not around, and we paying you not to be around there. So we talked about that already. Let's see here. A couple other things here, just kind of do going through. I want to see if there's anything that hands out. Worst states we talked about. Meanwhile, Idaho takes the cake when it comes to the lowest. I love this phrase. Meanwhile, Idaho takes the cake when it comes to the lowest employee satisfaction. Oh boy. All right, so here's one of the things, and they put on here's the reasons why. Mountain states likely had lower scores due to fewer wellness and employee assistance programs, right? I was talking about less paid leave and longer work hours. All right. So that's from Mental Floss there. So with that, if you're an employer and you're looking to figure out how to provide this, how to gauge whether or not you're a great place to work or not, there's surveys. You can find them. You can go Google them. They're out there. They exist. And, that would be just one of my recommendations. Go check that out. You can get with your local chamber. They should be able to put you in touch with someone that would do that and offer that for you. But honestly, one of the best things that I've recommended for my clients is while yes, it's important to know what everyone else is doing, don't necessarily compare what makes it work to other folks. I had one place I worked at, they brought in massage chairs. No one wanted the damn massage chairs except for 2 people in the office. Like, I wanted a computer that worked, man. I didn't need and that's one of the things that we talked about. I was like, with my clients, like, do a survey and just find out what could be better. How's your equipment? How's your office environment? How's your workplace? Is there something we can do to help make your workplace better so you can come in, as far as to make those purchases, benefits, obviously just ask, see what they have, see what they look into, and that's one of the things that, when I'm talking with my clients, say, just ask your teams, ask them, but try to be targeted, say around things like, hey, what can we do to make your work better? And is there anything that we can do to help round out your employment here? And you'll be surprised and amazed that your people will tell you exactly what they want. They will. Almost all of it's going to be, we want more money. So once you get past that, what else is there? And, I remember, I've told this story before, but I'll just tell it one more time here. I went to work at a place, and it was a maintenance area where there was 16 of us, and we had to share. I found out when I got there, the teams, we had to share tool bags because there was only a couple of them. And so they basically had to make multiple trips back and forth. In order to go do the work remotely, they just had all this crap that they had to do, these extra steps. And I was asked, like, wait, what's going on here? And they said that the bosses would not, they said, we're not going to buy everybody their individual tool bags because it's just a waste. And I was like, no, I came in and I didn't even ask. I just ordered everybody brand new tool bags. They came in the next week. I gave them to everyone. I said, listen, before you go out, stencil your name on there so we know whose is whose. And yeah, here you go. Here's your bags. It cost me under $1,000. It cost the organization under $1,000. And I remember the looks I got. The bosses were so mad. But you know what the teams did? They were great. They were happy, and productivity went up. And it was an issue. So that's what I mean. It's just, if you would have asked them, they would have told you, this is what we need. Let's find a way to do that. All right, so let's get into the last bit here. This is just something I wanted to do. I have no idea if this is going to be good to content for the live here, but let's take a look at it and see how it's going to go. And it's from Forbes here. Again, I had clients that are asking about Chat GPT and ways to help with their marketing stuff, and I didn't really know. So I wanted to be able to offer this piece out here to say, hey, what's something that we could look at here? And so this came up yesterday. I want to save it for today. It was 5 Chat GPT prompts to make more money from your marketing emails. Okay, well, let's see. This is exactly what I was looking for here. Look how happy she is. She's like, hey, we are going to make some money on our marketing emails. Look how happy she is. All right. Don't really worry about the verbiage in here. I want to get down to the first, the prompt here. I don't want this one. Let's see here. Here we go. All right. So we're going to take this prompt and if you haven't seen these prompts for AI before, like actually written out. This is kind of what you can do with your AI to make it work better for you. And here, I'm going to read through it, kind of hit it up here. This is important, and understanding how to author these prompts is extremely important. It's frankly how to better leverage AI. The better you are at these things, the better the more employable you're going to be if you're an employee. And it's also, from an employer standpoint, it's just dope to be able to know how to do these things. All right. Help me write, and this is what I'm saying, help me write an attention-grabbing email, subject lines, and opening lines for the customers we've described. First task, create 5 subject lines that spark curiosity without being clickbait. Short, sharp sentences that aren't questions, no more than 5 words. Second task, write 5 powerful opening sentences to begin the emails. After the initial greeting that make them want to keep reading. These should be single sentences, no more than 12 words. See how specific that is? It's wild. And not a question. The opening line should signal the start of a story, challenge a common belief, or create intrigue. Make each one personal, and like I'm writing to a person. Focus on the biggest pain points of, and we're going to describe their challenges. So first things first, I want to say, all right, so we want to do this right opening. So this spot here. I'm going to copy this. We're going to drop this into Grok here. Like I said, I use Grok. All right, so focus on the big pain points of. I'm going to do this first. Hey, Control X. So my customers are small business owners looking to grow. Business owners looking to grow their businesses. They are 55 years old and older, and looking, and eventually they want to sell their business. Okay. So here's the thing, it's going to do some stuff here, right. All right, lots of questions come out of this stuff here, and then I'm going to do this here. And we're going to talk about their pain points here. Big pain points of building value in their business so they can sell it. Okay, so let's see what, so this is the idea here. It's kind of hard to see. Let me make this a little bit bigger for you guys here. Here we go. So here's the attention off of the feed that we had here, right? This is what we got. So here's the lines, attention grabbing subject lines, your business's hidden value. Growth traps, sabotage, sales, retirement hinges on this, like that one. Buyers ignore weak foundations, value slips through the cracks. Okay, powerful opening sentence. 12 words max, no questions. Ooh, look at this first one. Your decades of work deserve a better payoff. I like that. And remember, this is focused on those pain points. Most owners undervalue their life's effort. Yesterday's success won't impress buyers tomorrow. Sweat built this, but strategy sells it. Ooh, that's a good one. I mean, again, I'm in consultant world here. And one oversight could shrink your sales price. I like this. Cool. I like that a lot. So that did a really good job. And that's what and so we're going to get out of this here. I just wanted to give you guys a quick look at understanding what those prompts be, so how to do them. So as you saw when I started with Grok there, right, in my AI, I start off saying, hey, my clients are the following. Then, describing where they're at, some of their pain points, what their biggest worries are. Then you launch into the conversation. Just remember, your discussions with these AIs, they're meant to be discussions. Like you're having a conversation that continues with them and it builds on it. It's not, you don't have to get it right in the first piece. You put a piece out there and it's going to ask you back some clarifying questions that you need to go ahead and answer. And in this case, I gave it some more stuff to work at, and I think it gave me some really good things here. So anyways, that's a big piece. I just want to do a quick touch on that. I know it's not like the best content and anything like that, but it is important stuff, and is to show you some of the work that I just do with my clients. I know it seems silly, but I've got probably another 20 or so prompts that I want to go through, and then to be able to provide feedback to my client who asked about this, so then they can go do their own research and then head down the line on those things. So yeah, so that takes care of it for today. Again, I appreciate you hanging out as long as you did here. Again, if you're interested about how I help businesses grow faster than you ever thought possible, don't hesitate to reach out at summitbusinessguys.com. Hopefully I earned your